Good morning, friends, and welcome back to my channel. I am the Soap Chef here on this channel where we make all things with a rather good lather. It's Wet Soap Wednesday. That's what we're going to be doing today. I was supposed to film this yesterday, but then business things started happening and you got to take care of what you got to take care of in the moment, right? Also, we wear pink on Wednesdays. Okay, enough of that. Let's just make this short and sweet. Let's go over to Creation Station and let's go and make some soap. See what kind of trouble we can get ourselves into. Come on. Okay, everybody, we are over here at Creation Station and we're going to be making just a teeny tiny little batch today that's going to have a diagonal design to it and embeds on each of the diagonals. Yes, sure it's gonna. I'm going to split off some of this batch into a different vessel. I'm going to have an in the pot swirl. I'm going to color this a different color. I'm going to put some shreds in there and we're going to see how this works out. In my lye solution, there's a lot of clay. So why don't we just get going here and you'll see what I'm talking about momentarily, okay? So lye solution, I do have all my safety equipment on, by the way. Okay, long pants and everything. I don't know if you guys can see that. Because on Wednesdays, we wear pink. All right, here we go into the pool. This soap, just for these few little bars that it's going to produce, I think it's really only going to produce like 6. It's a teeny tiny little batch, and this was originally supposed to be for a challenge that a lot of us are going to be in, but I did not meet the deadline because I had a whole bunch of other business stuff that I was taking care of, so I really didn't have the time necessary to go ahead and do this, but we're going to do it today. All right, let's give this a blend. Okay, I've blended this until just past emulsion. Now I'm going to split off some of the batch. All right, let's get some of you in here. And I'm just going to put a little bit in there just to do an in the pot swirl. Leave these guys sitting there for just a moment. We're going to get our color in here. I've got 1/4 teaspoon of antique silver mica, and I dispersed that in some of the warm oils because I don't want this bottom half to be dark. I just want a little bit of gray because the design that I'm doing is going to be called Seasons Change. So we're going to be going from fall into winter. And winter typically is nasty and kind of dark and gray and dismal. So I didn't want to put too much color in here, but you know, we'll see how this works out. I'm scraping the bottom really good. Sometimes I tend to not do that. And then I've got some little blobs of color on the bottom, so sometimes, not too often, but once in a while it happens. I'm not really paying attention to what it is that I'm doing. All right, so that's actually nice. That's a nice kind of a very, very light gray color. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and put some of my shreds in here because I want this to look like snow falling from the sky because we're going to be using a snowman embed for this part of the diagonal. And so I wanted it to look like there was snow falling. And the fragrance that I am using today is called Winter Blues. It does have a tendency to accelerate your batch, which is okay. And I kind of want it to a little bit because I need it to set up fairly quickly to be able to, you know, get that other diagonal layer in there, but I don't need it to set up too quickly so that I can't even get my embed pushed down in there. All right, let's get the log mold over here. And normally I would have my little diagonal wooden doohickey thing. But for today's video, this is going to be, wait, I don't even know if you guys can see that. There, that's better. So this is the part that I'm going to be making today, and I just portioned this off with a little block of wood, okay? So I'm gonna put about half of the fragrance in here. We're gonna get this into the mold, and then we're gonna go ahead and take our snowman embed. It was a column mold. So we're gonna take this snowman and we're gonna stick him in there. Hardy har har, sure we are. Okay, here we go. It's about half. And we're just gonna stir this guy in here. And by the way, this particular fragrance also does discolor. It smells fantastic though. I mean, I really love this smell. It's really great. All right, let's get you into the mold. Just that whole thing is just gonna go right in there. Wow, wow, the smell. Yeah, this was what I was planning on doing yesterday, and that's why I had those embeds already made yesterday. But then, you know, stuff happens. All right, so I have to tilt this more. Okay. All right, this should be interesting now, because now I've got to get that big long embed in there, but I want the embed to sit up straight. I don't want it to be on the tilt, right? So I'm going to go ahead and give them a little spritz of alcohol. Okay, little Mr. Frosty. Ho, 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 ho. Here we go. I want him to sit straight up and down, so this should be interesting. I think I'm going to have to like hold him in place for a few seconds. Okay, now what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to take a lot of this that's been pushed over, and I'm going to push that back over. I mean, it's going to fall back over anyways. Once I put the mold in an upright position, it's going to fall back over onto the top anyways, which is good. That's what I want. Just right now, it's just a wee bit awkward. Yeah, I've never tried to do any type of a design on a diagonal where I've wanted to stick an embed in the diagonal. I've never done this. Maybe I'm soaping a little bit too low on my temperature, because this should have already started getting pretty thick by now. I've used this fragrance many times before, and it does accelerate your batch. Not terribly, it doesn't seize, but it does accelerate for sure. All right, well, let's just let him be. We're going to move on to the next step here. All right, that's good. Orange all mixed up. This is tangerine mica, and I have a half a teaspoon of tangerine pop mica. And this is from TKB Trading. Get on the bottom there and make sure I'm getting all that color off the bottom. Mix that in nice. That looks good enough. Now we're going to get that sent into the main batch. We're going to get that in the pot swirl going on. Just going to hand stir this in. And you can see it kind of has an orange tinge to it, this fragrance oil. All right, let's get that drop swirl in here, the in the pot swirl. All right, this is thick enough that I can go ahead and pour this next layer in here. Now, this is going to be the interesting part. And I know that I'm going to have a lot of leftover overflow. Okay, so next we're going to be putting in our maple leaf. This was a column mold. So now that I want to be kind of more on the top. First, let's clean this up a little bit. All right, Mr. Maple Leaf, let's go in here. Push you down just a little bit. All right, and then I'm just going to cover the rest of the top here. Okay, I cleaned that up as best I could for right now, but I'm also going to just let it sit for just a few minutes to firm up a little bit more, and then I'll do a rough texture on the top of that. So give me a few seconds, you guys. We'll be back. Okay, guys, it's been a few minutes. Let's see what's going on here. If I can do just a little bit of sculpting. Not much, just to give it a little bit of contrast texture. No big deal. Okay, and our last step is going to be putting on some orange biodegradable glitter, because what's fall without glitter? Okay, let's bring in for a close-up. Okay, you guys, that's going to do it for the making of Wet Soap Wednesday. Stick around for another couple of seconds. You're going to come back and watch me unmold and cut this. It's going to be tomorrow for me. So I'll see you in a second.
The next day.
Okay, it is the next day, and I've already went ahead and unmolded the soap that we made yesterday, and we're going to go ahead and give it a cut. I broke out the tank for this occasion, broke it out of retirement. 20 years going, still strong. All right, let's cut into this, shall we, and see what kind of damage we did yesterday. Hopefully I won't break any of my strings, because remember, those are melt and pour embeds in there, so use caution. And these are going to be really hefty bars. This is not part of my regular line. See, I'm getting some resistance right now because I'm coming in contact with the melt and pour. Oh, thank goodness. Whew. Oh. Well, hello there. Doesn't that look awesome? Love, love, love that. That's beautiful. All right, let's look at each one. 6 bars. And there we go. That looks beautiful. I'm very pleased with this. This came out great. So up here we've got fall, obviously, with our fall leaf, and then we're transitioning into winter with our snowman. We've got our little snowflakes in our gray, gloomy atmosphere that happens in the winter. Now, I have to say, this is a brand new mold that I just got off of a D-stash on Etsy. And so I'm wondering, well, why is this person getting rid of this mold? Because this is a really cool mold. You know, I've been waiting for prices to go down on some of the suppliers, and they're just not. The prices are not going down on column molds. So I saw this and it was being destashed. I'm like, why is she getting rid of this? Well, now I know why she's getting rid of that, because when you, first of all, the mold itself is very, very short. It's only about this tall. I think it's like 7 or 8 inches. But when you start pouring your melt and pour in there, the whole middle of it, and I had rubber bands going all the way around and clips on the top and the bottom. So the whole middle part of that bulged completely out. And so that's why you're seeing distortion. It's probably going to get worse as we go along, but let's just take a look and see. Yeah, see, there's some distortion with the blowout down here, but that's okay. This looks beautiful. I couldn't be more pleased. It's exactly what I wanted. I wanted the white with the little swirls of orange in there to mimic fall with the maple leaf. And then our snowman down on the bottom in the dark and gloomy winter. Did I show you both sides? I'm sorry. All right, let's just keep going. It's just a small batch, so we'll go ahead and we'll look at every single one of these. Yeah, so you can see the blowout, and you can see that the snowman is getting more squat, because it just bulged completely out of the sides, and there was nothing I could do about it at that point. Yeah, see this? You can't even tell that that's a snowman at all. That's okay. I'm still very pleased with it. It looks great. Oh, well, of course, I'm going to plane the other side so you can see the other side, but yeah. That's awesome. And the tank, you pulled through for me, buddy. That's great. You're 20 years old. Good for you. Okay, that's going to do it for today, though, you guys. I have a lot to do. My son is coming in tonight, so I'm not even going to be here at the facility for very much longer. I need to go home and tidy up the guest room for him and the girlfriend. Okay, that's going to do it for today, like I said, you guys. So be kind, stay humble, and take care of yourselves. We'll see you soon.